Alright, good morning YouTube. What's going on? It's about 5:25 a.m. We're coming up on a 3-day weekend, um, but not for me, of course. But a lot of you guys probably going to have 3-day weekends. Going to be a lot of bashing going on, a lot of racing, all kinds of stuff, a lot of wrenching. Speaking of wrenching, last night I went ahead and started breaking down this Mugen MBX5, and she definitely needs a good cleaning. We're going to break this thing all the way down, try to figure out why there's no forward motion in this, just to see if it would you know, what was going on with it. You know, I threw the Hyper 7 in there, and I know the clutch is good on this because I just rebuilt everything, but I fired it up and I was getting no forward motion. It was like the clutch was slipping, but I know it's not slipping. So I was checking everything else, and I could hold the spur gear, and both axles, and it would just turn. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish taking this apart. It doesn't seem like the pin is broke on the inside, but I'm not sure. I'm gonna take it all the way apart and see what's going on there. We'll probably upgrade these servos at some point, but not yet, because these original servos, I think these are the JR servos, they're still working fine. So we'll keep it as is. Still haven't got to the front shocks on it yet. I'm going to rebuild these, put new boots on them and stuff. And I thought whoever had it took pretty good care of it, and I think they did. I really don't see any rust or anything, but there's a lot of dirt. You know, once you start breaking it down, getting into the cracks and crevices and stuff, there is a lot of dirt. But I see no rust at all anywhere. So they took good care of it. There's no diff fluid in here. It's completely dry. So we'll take care of all that. I may just get a whole new center diff with new spur gear and everything. This looks like it's probably the original one. Alright, so other things that are going on, guys. Tracking number says that Savox did get the Savox Black high voltage servo, so they should be sending that back to me pretty quick. I also did notice last night that when I put everything back together, my fuel tank was at a little bit of an angle. It wasn't setting down in the hole in the little guide down there. So I got that taken care of. She was still running that badass, and the tank was leaning at an angle a little bit. But yeah, I'm ready to get this thing going. Now once I get that servo back and we dial this in a little bit more, this is the truggy I'm gonna take to the track, but obviously I'm gonna have to switch out my tires, and I don't have any track tires. So if you guys have any suggestions on what I should use on my first time out on the track, it's probably not a good idea to get out there with these Badlands. I mean, I guess you could, but I would rather get some track tires for it. So the only thing I have even close is going to be the original Losi ones that came on the 8T. I guess I could use those, but I really want to buy a set of decent track tires. So you guys got any ideas, hit me up. Let me know what y'all think. This definitely is going to be what I'm going to put out there, just to learn, just to screw around. And we don't necessarily have to use the 32. We could put something else in there. We could put one of the Novas in there, but I'll probably set it out there just like that, just to start practicing and you know, getting used to it. But I just want to switch those tires out. So on the Mugen, we'll continue to keep breaking it down. We'll get the front and the rear diffs out and just go over the whole thing. That's what I had planned to do. I was just hoping I could get it up and just run it for a little bit just to check it out, but that ain't gonna happen. We need to break it down all the way. And as you know, I took the Nova out of the Hyper, and it's over here. It's probably Tuesday or Wednesday, I think. I'm gonna go ahead and get this in the mail to Rick. It's already in there, ready to go. I just got to get it to the post office. Got to get time and get it to the post office and get it dropped off. We're still waiting on the clip. Hopefully they'll be here today. The C clips for the wrist pin, and we can go ahead and get this thing put back together and throw it on the Hyper 7 and start breaking her in. I ordered some new 3-shoe Max Life set. I'm going to stick with 3-shoe on this, obviously, because it's going in the Hyper 7 and you have to have this big 36mm flywheel. The thing is huge, people. But it's got to be that big to get down to the bump box. This button head looks pretty good. I cleaned it up a little bit. I know you're not supposed to clean all the caster off and stuff, but I wanted to clean it up a little bit. That's the original glow plug that was in there too, so we'll check that. It's probably not no good, but I'll check it out before I change it. Looks like it's got a P3 in there. And my shims, it only had one shim. One of these shims goes with the other. I've got 3 of these V-Specs, these OS V-Specs. And this was the best block out of all of them. It's pretty clean. And I have a 14T clutch bell and a 13 clutch bell. I've never run anything higher than a 14 clutch bell. I may try to do a 16 or something like that, see what that's all about. But yeah, we'll get this squared away as soon as I get the C-clip in, and we'll get it in the Hyper and start breaking it in. I could probably send this off to have it modded too. Everything brand new. That's a good idea, people. I might do it once I get it back together. I wonder if I could just send the rest of it just like this to Rick and he could put it together and do it. He's going to have it apart anyway. Makes sense. I don't know. I'll think about it. We'll see what happens. I may just keep it stock. Leave it in the Hyper. Y'all let me know what you think. Should I send this off to be modded as well? I also noticed on these OS con rods you have your oil track is on both sides. So I don't think it matters what side goes, you know, in right. I can't believe the prices on these things. You can still find these, man, but they're high dollar. Like $179 for the piston and the sleeve, and $150 for the con rod. It's crazy, man. Alright, people, just a little update, let y'all know what's going on. I went ahead and put another servo in the 8T. The other one was dragging, there was something wrong with it. It would open, it would work fine, but when you let off the throttle, it was dragging, so it was staying fired up. I was able to go ahead and get a nut and bolt in this one that had fallen out, but I went ahead and fixed that while I had the tank out and everything apart. So I just put another one of my Hobao servos in there, and I'll order some next week. Maybe next weekend I'm going to order about 4 new servos. Nothing special, no high voltage, just some regular servos, probably some JXs. Although the original what comes in here are the Spectrums, but that Spectrum throttle servo, it didn't last for crap, man. But probably those JXs. I'll probably leave the steering servo in because it's done just fine. No problems at all. I don't know why they put a better steering servo in than they do a throttle servo. That doesn't make much sense to me, but they do. So we'll get this bad boy out on the out running again. She's ready to go. One thing I did when I put this Gen 2 wing on is I put the spacers. They have 2 different size spacers, a really thick one and then a little bit smaller one. I put the medium one in to push the wing back away from the shock tower a little bit. Let's see how that one is. I may put the big one on to bring it back a lot further. So I thought that was pretty cool. I've never seen anything like that before either. I may do a few more little upgrades. I still want to do the 4.0 shock towers and maybe the block caps here. Do the better blocks, or the block caps, the aluminum ones. But you know, right now I'm trying to put my time and money into other things, like modding that Nova, getting this thing up and running, going through the Mugen MBX5. I got a lot of projects. I got a lot of irons in the fire, people. So as soon as I get the servo back, we'll get this back together and we'll get it out to the track. I gotta find time to do that. I don't know if I want to be out there with a bunch of people, man. I'd rather get out there just Elliot, my hobby shop guy, and myself, since I've never been on the track, getting to just show me the ropes. I did order some more MP. I've got 4 more cans coming. I use a lot of this shit, people. It's great. If you can afford that stuff, pick you up a couple of cans. I've got an account number with them where I can get a discount now. So if anybody wants to pick any of this up, I will give you my discount number, so you could do that. But it is high dollar, people, and there are other things that are not as expensive. I've also been using this Blaster stuff here, and it's pretty good. It's Blaster PB50 multi-purpose lubricant. It's pretty good stuff. It's got Teflon in it. So this is only about $5, people. The MP, it's $7.50 a can, but you got to pay shipping. So it's better off if you buy at least 2 cans of it with shipping and everything. You're going to pay about $22. So that's the best way to go on the MP, the AMSOIL. Anyway, people, just wanted to give y'all a little bit of an update. Got some more Magnum Force the other day. I do need to go down and get some more of my filter oil. I use the Fluids filter form oil, the spray. It's a lot easier to use. So I got to get some more of that. But hopefully we'll be able to do a running video. I don't know how late I'll be getting home today. If I get home a little early, we'll put the 8T out there and rip on this Nova a little bit. She's still pretty dialed in, so I shouldn't have to mess with her at all. Weather hadn't changed much, anything like that. So and I was having a problem with this tire. This one tire was holding air a little bit, so I just went ahead and I drilled. I took a very small drill bit and I drilled 2 holes, one here in the rim, to help alleviate that. I don't know what that's about. Maybe I don't know. There was one area where a stick had stuck in the side and I pulled it out, but I had mended it. I put some glue in where the hole was. It was just a tiny hole, and what I'll do when that happens is I'll just put a little glue in there and I'll let it dry overnight. But I don't know, maybe they're still getting air in there somehow. So, but anyway, maybe drilling those holes, that'll alleviate that. I don't care if it balloons up a little bit. I just don't want it holding air. It was actually holding air. So, alright people, I think that's going to be about it. We still need to break in the dynamite .28. I have no idea when I'll get close to that. Still considering selling the LST. I don't know. It's kind of hard, people. It's kind of hard to sell something that's such a badass monster truck, you know. My little engine collection. All stockers. My OS. My Adam Drake. Badass .21. It supposedly only has about 2 gallons on it, but I think it's too far to have modded. So I won't even mess with that. Got another motor savers over here. And I got a couple more coming. Alright people, I think that's going to be about it for this morning. If I get home in time, we'll do some ripping on the 8T. Man, these CNC front steering knuckles have done really well. No issues with them. The original ones, they broke right away. It was these right here. These right here, they broke right away. Cheap shit. I got a crap load of them. But I got another Spectrum servo here. I got a couple of Traxxas servos. I got a shitload of LST stuff. Got another tank for the Hyper. I think that's for the Hyper. Got the back plate for the Dynamite, brand new right there. You guys with your Dynamites, if you need the back plate, it's DYN E1506. Brand new one right there. Alright guys, I think that's going to be about it. I still got LST wheel hexes, 20 millimeters, 23 millimeters. This would go good with Muggies. Muggies wannabe Muggy. Right there. Those are the Mammoth. LST2 and Mammoth 23 millimeter hubs. Brand new in a package. Alright guys, just wanted to hang out with y'all a little bit this morning, so I'm going to skedaddle and we'll get some, man, I got to get some running in today in the 8T. It really sucked the other day when I was jumping and the servo was lagging. It wasn't closing, you know, quick enough, and it let off the throttle and it was still getting it. So hopefully we're good with this other Hobao servo there, and I'll order some new ones next week. And we'll get this thing out to RB Mods. So, until then, guys, we will see y'all. Y'all have a great Friday. Everybody have a great weekend. And remember, I don't say do unto others as they do unto you. I say treat people the way you would want to be treated. Y'all have a great weekend. See y'all in a bit.